Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and thank you so much for being here today. Happy August 2024. In today's reading vlog, we are reading Rabbit Hole by Kate Brody. This is her debut novel. It's got a little bit over 4,400 reviews across Amazon and Goodreads. However, with those 4,400 reviews, it's only got between a 3.1 and a 3.4 star rating. But the general consensus just seems to be that this book is not a thriller, horror, suspense mystery novel. It's more a character study on grief with the main character. It's got 385 pages and it just came out this year in January 2024, about 7 months ago. The premise, y'all, I'm so into it. I'm so into what this book is trying to be about, even though it might not be actually about that. In the forefront, it's supposed to be about this woman named Theodora. She goes by Teddy. Teddy had an older sister named Angie. Angie went missing 10 years ago. Her case is still unsolved. Teddy is just grieving the loss of her sister throughout this book. But then on the 10th anniversary of Angie going missing, Teddy's dad, Mark, commits suicide. Teddy is now grieving the loss of her sister and her father. And then while Teddy is cleaning out her father's office, she finds all of this documentation about a Reddit thread that is all about looking for Angie and trying to figure out where Angie went. Her dad had been, I guess he created this Reddit thread. He had been trying to find Angie for the last 10 years and Teddy had no idea. And then Teddy gets sucked down the rabbit hole of this Reddit thread trying to figure out, where did my sister go and why did my dad unalive himself on the 10th anniversary of my sister going missing? So that's the crux of the book. However, a lot of the reviews complain that this is just following the grief of Teddy. It is a character study on what grief does to you and how it's not pretty. It's very messy with her trying to cope with the loss of her sister and then the loss of her father. Everyone just says that there's a lot of sex in this book. There's a few animals that die in this book that are being neglected. I can't read about stuff like that. But then on top of that, it says that she's an English teacher at this prestigious high school, and then she has a gun-toting boyfriend. There's a long-lost brother that comes into play, and then there's a girl named Mickey that apparently shows up at Teddy's door, and she's claiming to be this amateur sleuth that can help Teddy find Angie. Teddy and Mickey kind of just get into this female friendship with blurring lines. It also says in the premise that this is a critique at internet's voyeurism, with everyone just trying to get involved, especially with that Reddit thread, and just how the internet can take things by storm and it's not always accurate. And then that starts messing with Teddy. She starts mixing up memories versus fiction, and then what she thinks happened in the past versus what actually happened. I'm excited to get into it, even though the reviews are not good, but I've been warned. This is not a complete mystery thriller, that you're just gonna be following along with a lot of what Teddy is going through and how she's trying to cope. Now that I'm prepared, maybe I'll be into this book more. I'm so curious about the Reddit thread, and then not even so much what happened with Angie, but what was found that made their father leave this world. Let's just get into it and see. This book doesn't have chapters. That's just like the book that I read, Convenience Store Woman. However, that was just page after page after page. You didn't even know if there was a break in the book. It was just 163 pages. This one, you can tell that there should be a chapter number and there's not. And then I even went a little bit further just to see, and literally they're all like that. We just got right into it. This whole first page, the very first sentence: 10 years to the day after my sister's disappearance, my father kills himself. And then it just goes into what he did. He was in a car, ran it off a bridge into the water. Teddy is standing there with her mother. I will say there is some animal death in the first 12 pages, but to me that wasn't graphic to read about. Angie had a dog named Wolfie, and Wolfie was acquired before Angie went missing. So this dog is over 10 years old at this point, and he's close to passing away. He can't really breathe well and he has cancer, but he's alive, he's fine. when they got to the vet, I guess there was a hit and run with a cat, and so that cat was in a little bag, and it just said, please dispose accordingly. Someone had left it at the door for the vet so that I guess other animals couldn't get to it. And then it went to a flashback of when Angie and Teddy were little. There were 2 dead kittens in the parking lot of this grocery store. They had been run over by a car. Nothing was graphic. So just throwing that out there if you needed to know. I was fine reading that. I read Frida McFadden's The Perfect Son. Oh my gosh. That's animal abuse, animal cruelty. I hated that book, but this so far, it's been fine. Teddy has a lease that is starting at an apartment today, and it's only been, I think, a day or 2 since her dad passed away. Teddy right now has moved back in with her mom. She's moved all of her boxes that she was gonna move to that apartment back into that house because her mom is all alone. I guess she'll be living with her mom but paying rent on that apartment. And her poor mother. Her mother has had 3 husbands and all 3 of them have passed away. The first one died in the war. The second one died of stomach cancer. That's Angie's dad. And then this third one is Teddy's dad, and he has, unalived himself. So that's interesting. He kills himself on the anniversary of Angie going missing, his stepdaughter. I'm so nervous, y'all. I live in Japan, and we have a typhoon headed this way, and I went and stocked up on so much food earlier today, although I'm now realizing they're all perishables. It's everything that goes in the refrigerator, and if the electricity goes out, I can't eat that food. Well, I guess I could eat some of it until it goes bad. I think I'm just gonna be inside here for the next couple of days. Maybe we'll get this book done. Right now, it's the calm before the storm. It's beautiful outside right now. The storm is supposed to start at 10 o'clock 10 o'clock tonight, and it's gonna go on for about 7 days. Holy cow, we just got a reveal on page 19. I mean, on 19, you're able to deduce what happens, but then it spells it out for you completely on page 20. We have found the long-lost brother. His name is Henry. He was in the synopsis, but at the moment, he wants nothing to do with the family or his deceased father. In case anyone was wondering, this book is taking place in the state of Maine. The school where Teddy works, remember, she's a high school English teacher at this super prestigious high school. First of all, she doesn't even take time off. Her principal keeps telling her, take your days, take bereavement, take as much time as you need, but Teddy won't do it. And Teddy used to go to this school, and her sister Angie went there, and the principal used to be their physics teacher, so he's very close with them. But anyways, this school, it used to be a sanitarium run by a church established by Irish immigrants, which also, by the way, Angie and Teddy's mom is Irish. She's from Ireland. She also says that the basement is essentially still a morgue. Morgue? This is my 10% check-in. I don't know what year this book is taking place in, but the dad had a flip phone. Teddy's in his office cleaning it out, and she finds his flip phone. I literally just finished a romance book yesterday where the male main character had a flip phone, and that book took place in present day, essentially in 2024. I don't know what year this is in, but the dad also has a flip phone. Here we go, a Reddit page. r/unsolved mysteries. It bills itself as a subreddit dedicated to the unsolved mysteries of the world. And then while Teddy is scouring this Reddit page, she clicks on the search bar and types in her sister's name. Angie has her own subreddit, r/Angie Engstrom. I don't know if y'all care, but I like to know people's ages when I'm reading books. And again, with that romance book that I finished yesterday, I did not find out until the 80% mark. 80. At the 80% mark is when I found out how old the male main character was. So annoying. Right now, I've just now found out that Angie was 18 when she went missing. It's been 10 years. She would have been 28. I still don't know how old Teddy is. I know Teddy was younger than her. If Angie would have been 28 right now, Teddy is probably early to mid 20s. She's a teacher, so obviously she has graduated from college. I just wanted to put this in here in case y'all were curious, because I like to know people's ages that I'm reading about. Again, if you care, Teddy is currently 26 years old. I'm reading this flashback on Reddit about what happened the night that Angie went missing. Angie was 18, her little sister Teddy was 16. Teddy is so terrible to her students. They're 16 years old. I do not like the scene that I just read. She was staring at all of her students and trying to figure out which of her male students are gonna grow up and beat their wives and hit their girlfriends and hurt strange women and girls that they don't know. There was an incident with the lesson that they were doing. That was awful. She's mean. I was a teacher back in the States. I don't like what she just did. I don't know why, this just made me laugh. My mom didn't care all through growing up in my 20s and 30s if I ever found someone to spend the rest of my life with, you know, a husband. It was whatever to her, because I didn't even get married until I was 36. In here, I guess Teddy's about to go on a date, and her dad literally just offed himself 2 weeks ago. And right here it says, when my mom asks why I'm getting so dressed up, I tell her I have a date. She doesn't object to the timing. She's too worried I'll never find a man. The reviews online that were extremely negative did say that there's a lot of sex in this book. And right here it just says, I go on dates for the food and for the sex. I need a steak every so often, and I need skin to skin. I like feeling useful to another person. Desired, potent chemical. Hold up. The synopsis in this book said that Teddy has a gun-toting boyfriend. As I'm realizing right now, she does not have a boyfriend. She also didn't have a date. She just needed to get out of the house, and that was her excuse to tell her mom, oh, I'm going on a date. She kind of stalked somebody online. I don't know. There's things that I can't tell you. Things that were in her dad's office, and now there was this guy, and he was gonna be at this bar. Their banter is so cute. And I am blushing over here and want them to be together. But then he makes a comment about how he likes to go to the shooting range on the weekends. The synopsis said her boyfriend is a gun-toting man. This guy goes to the shooting range. Is this guy gonna end up being her boyfriend? Because I'm so into this, but now the synopsis made it seem negative. They're so cute together right now. I love their banter. He knows something. This guy knows something. He was much younger than Teddy's dad. I want to say this guy is in his 30s. I don't know if I like him now, because their conversation is going on and on. She's asking him some questions, you know, because of things that were in the office. I don't think I trust him. This is my 20% check-in. I don't really have a whole lot to say right now. Not much more has happened or progressed in the book. This book does read like a literary fiction, and I'm eating it up. This book at the moment is a 4 or a 5-star book. I mean, I want to say 5 stars, but we'll see. It does read like a lit fic. I am kind of in my lit fic era, which could be why I'm so obsessed with this book at the moment. I was even just texting my husband saying, oh my gosh, I really like this book. I don't really have much to say though. She's having lunch with one of her juniors. I want to say he's 16 or 17 years old. He lost his sister 10 years ago and his mother. They were driving and a bee got into the car and the mom freaked out and then swerved and hit a tree, and so they both passed away. That is awful. This sweet little kid named Maurice kind of knows what his teacher is going through with, you know, losing both their sisters 10 years ago, and then, you know, he had lost his mom, she's lost her dad, although for different reasons. Has anyone ever had a cream cheese and jelly sandwich? That is what is being eaten right now, and I would kind of like that. Can you imagine attending your sister's high school graduation because y'all knew the same people, you had the same friends, and then the vice principal calls out your sister's name, even though she's been missing. She is not at graduation. And then the lady holds up the diploma and no one claps. The audience is just quiet. Can you imagine? Let's see if this is any good. I recognize the word cheese. That is it. The rest is in Japanese. I had no idea that was a burger. It was delicious. Look at that baby. Look at my little girl cat. I don't know how bright this is gonna be, but it's so nice sitting right here in front of the sun. We have met Mickey. Mickey and Teddy's dad were just obsessed with finding Angie. Mickey was in the 5th grade when Angie went missing, and it became a teachable moment at her school. Don't go anywhere alone. If you get drunk, call your parents, even if you think they're going to be mad at you. So now Mickey is 19 and just obsessed with finding Angie alongside Angie and Teddy's dad. This part right here about a critique on the internet's voyeurism. Mickey is offering, to do all these things for Teddy and to find some people. Teddy's just thinking, a man is dead. Don't you get it? He didn't kill himself for your entertainment. We are real people. It's not a hobby for me. It's my life. This book is so good. I am wondering why people are not as into it as I am. I'm on page 100, and leading up to that, Teddy is just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's with Bill again. They've had another night together. Also, there's no smut at all. Like, nothing. It just starts with, I went over there, we did it, I'm laying in bed. I mean, that is it. So twice now they've hooked up that we know of, as the reader. But also, I'm confused. I don't really know, because it did say in here that she starts to not be able to sort her memories from what didn't happen from fiction and then what happened in real life versus what's being said on Reddit. And that kind of happens in this last scene. Something happens between Teddy and Angie, 10 years ago, or maybe more than that. We don't really know as the reader if that was true or not, and Teddy herself doesn't remember if that was true or not. And then Teddy wakes up Bill and says, hey, I need to see your computer, and I need to see your phone. I need to see your search history. So she goes through his laptop. She goes through his cell phone. She doesn't find anything, and then she just says, I have to go, because he is kind of picking a fight with her for valid reasons, because she wanted to search through everything, and then she just storms out of the house. This is my 30% check-in, and once again, I don't know what all I can tell you. We've met some more characters. There was some more information coming from her dad's office. There was someone that Teddy called, and that person doesn't know Mickey, but has a bad feeling about Mickey. Also, I don't know if I told y'all this, but Mickey is 19. How old is Teddy? What did we say? She's 26. And according to the synopsis, they're gonna get into this really weird female friendship. Also, haven't seen Bill. Bill has not been mentioned since she went through his search history on his laptop and phone and then left his place. Look who's joining me. Hi, sweet boy. Meet Audi, everybody. How old are all of you that are watching this video? Do you remember AIM? AOL Instant Messenger. So they're talking about AIM and MySpace. Do you remember MySpace? And then even just having an AOL email address. I want to say so much, even though I can't. We've had some more developments thanks to Mickey and her youth, and just being able to do things that Teddy can't seem to figure out how to do. And now Teddy is at that apartment that she leased out at the beginning of this book, but she still lives with her mom. She doesn't want her to be alone. But Teddy tells Mickey to meet her there, and then while Teddy is in her bedroom getting ready, she comes out, and Mickey had walked into the apartment with this manila envelope and then a sack. On the wall is this whole spread as if they were in a little police criminal TV show. Teddy says, thank you. I did always want my own paranoid yarn wall. There's even red yarn that's linking people to events, to pictures. This is my 40% check-in. Mickey and Angie, they just ambushed somebody at their apartment. They didn't really get all the answers that they were looking for. These two amateur sleuths. We are still progressing, trying to figure out what happened to Angie. Still have no idea why on the 10-year anniversary their dad unalived himself. Angie and Bill are kinda back together. I need to know what is going on with Teddy's mom. I am just now realizing that she doesn't work. Teddy is footing all of the bills, and they're still trying to take care of all the bills that dad had that he neglected and didn't pay. They're still going through bank statements constantly, and bills from different places are always coming in. Her mom is so ungrateful. I know she's a 3-time widow, which is horrible. That's so bad. But I had no idea until right now that she's not working, and she's sort of just glumming it off of her daughter. That's so terrible. And then they get into a fight about it, rightfully so, and Teddy just says, I'm leaving, I'm moving out. I already told you, I've got my own place. And then she tells her, and get a job. And then her mom just starts crying and saying this is humiliating, and Teddy just says, what is so humiliating about working and having a job? Mickey and Teddy are now meeting up with someone who is just one of those people that believes the government is just out to get them in every which way. I'm gonna cuss, so if you have kids in the room, I'm just repeating what this person said. The person goes, you know all that shit about secondhand smoke is bogus. It's made up by the government. I'll send you the links. It'll blow your mind. 2 pages later, this same person is waving their cell phone in the air and just saying, the government can track you wherever you are. So far, there hasn't really been anything weird about Teddy and Mickey's relationship, their friendship, but remember, Teddy's 26 and Mickey is 19. And they're together a lot, and they talk a lot, and Teddy is still in that argument with her mom, and so Teddy's been sleeping at her apartment. She has nothing there. She hasn't moved anything, none of her furniture, including her bed. And then one night, something happens to her car because people are mean in this world, and she calls Mickey and just says, I don't want to stay at the apartment alone. And so they go to Walmart, and they buy sleeping bags and blow-up air mattresses, and Teddy pays for everything. And then they go back to her apartment to have a little sleepover. To me, this is just inappropriate. Mickey's a teenager. Granted, she doesn't act like one. I mean, Mickey's pretty cool, but you're 26 and you're a teacher, and if this got out, it just would not look good for her. This is my 50% check-in. What just happened at this dinner party? Teddy invited Bill over to meet her mother so that they could all have dinner together at mom's house. Mickey just shows up out of the blue before dinner even starts. It was raining outside, she's soaking wet, and she just says, Teddy, I have to tell you something. And Teddy just says, can it wait? I have plans. Bill's coming over, we're having dinner, he's meeting my mom. Mickey just keeps saying, it won't be very long, but can I please just come in? I'm freezing out here, it's raining, I'm soaking wet. And Teddy just says, go in my room and take a shower. Just go change your clothes. Mickey does that, and she puts on Teddy's sweatpants and a t-shirt and then joins them for dinner and never tells Teddy the whole reason why she even showed up in the first place. And then during dinner, it got so weird. I feel as if everybody was on Mickey's side. Mom was on her side, Teddy was on her side about some things that were said between Mickey and Bill. I'm on Bill's side. I am siding with Bill, and then of course he gets mad because everyone's against him. He just tells Teddy, I gotta go, I have to be at work early tomorrow, and then he just leaves. Teddy doesn't even follow him out the door, and then Teddy and Mickey are in the kitchen cleaning up the plates and the dishes, and Teddy starts crying, and Mickey just says, we can talk tomorrow, you're drunk right now off of wine. And Teddy says, yeah, whatever it was you needed to tell me, we'll just discuss tomorrow. What was the point of any of that? I'm so frustrated because why was everyone on Mickey's side? I'm on Bill's side. Teddy is so terrible to her students sometimes. I'm pretty sure I told y'all at the beginning of this vlog that a typhoon is on its way towards Japan, towards the Kanagawa Prefecture and Chiba Prefecture. I live in that area. Well, just now, all of a sudden, the chair was moving. We just had a small little earthquake. The rain is supposed to start in about 40 minutes and not stop really for about 7 days. We're this far in the book. It's so good. And I'm wondering if I should stop reading for the night because it's getting late and I'm getting scared. And I just want to get ready for bed and go watch some YouTube videos and close my eyes. I forgot about their little murder mystery wall that they have going on with the red yarn and all the photos. And now Bill is at Teddy's apartment and he's just staring at it all. And Teddy just looks at him and says, oh yeah, that's our wall of insanity. I was a teacher and I have never done this. Teddy is chaperoning the school dance. They're going to pay her a $50 stipend. She invites Bill. They're dressed up. They're at the dance. You know, they're watching everybody, making sure they're not drinking, smoking, groping each other. And they're looking around at the kids. One has a water bottle sticking out of his pocket and another one's smoking a vape pen. And so Teddy takes both of them. And then her and Bill go outside of the auditorium and she takes a drink from the water bottle and it's warm gin that's in it. And then she hands it to Bill, and Bill says, no, I'm not drinking out of that water bottle that you just pulled out of a teenager's pant pocket. He said, I don't want to get mono. And Teddy just laughs and says, you're going to get whatever I get, buddy. And then she downs the gin. She drinks everything that was in that water bottle. That is so disgusting. And then she takes a hit of the vape pen, and it's weed, really good weed apparently. And she just keeps hitting it. And so now she's kind of stoned and drunk at the dance. This is my 60% check-in, and Teddy is so messy. She's a messy teacher. They are still at that dance. They're still chaperoning, and she is high out of her mind. She's drunk. She's dancing with Bill. Her blouse has moved and her bra is hanging out. Her pencil skirt has ridden up. Another one of her teacher friends comes over and straightens her up and says, hey, it's 10:30 p.m. This ends at 11. We got to start wrapping it up. Teddy, she just retaliated against some people that are minors. I mean, good for you, girl, but also no, that's not right. I'm at a loss for words. I'll just say that. We've made it this far. Y'all, this book is so good. I mean, regardless of my little review I just said, this is still in 5-star territory. I love this book so much. It does read more like a literary fiction. It's more just about Teddy and what's going on in her life. And then, you know, Mickey has come along, and Mickey's the one progressing the plot and getting it going with what has happened to Angie and what has happened to Mark, the father. I love this book. It is after 9 p.m. It's not super late, but the storm is a-coming, and I just want to take a shower just in case the water goes out and the electricity goes out. I've read too much about this typhoon, this incoming typhoon. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for bed, and then I will check back in with y'all tomorrow. Bye. Hello, everybody. It is the next day. Y'all, I made it to page 229 yesterday, and I started the book yesterday. 229 pages in one day. That's huge for me. Also, my sweet little boy cat, he's right behind me in the chair. The storm started last night. The typhoon is a-coming. It is so windy outside today, and it is just nonstop raining. It hasn't stopped raining since last night. I'm just staring out the window. Let's finish this book today. Y'all, I love this book so much. I don't know how many times I've said that, and I don't want to annoy you with that, but we are in 5-star territory. I love it. Why is there a sheriff at Teddy's mom's house looking for Teddy to serve her papers? Do you remember what I said yesterday? Some retaliation had happened, and now I don't know if they're connected though. I didn't continue reading. The restraining order is not connected to what happened after the dance last night. It is so windy out, y'all. I'm going to freak out. This is our first time living in Japan. We moved here in November of 2023. It is now August 2024. We moved here right before Thanksgiving. They don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Japan. Teddy's mom is so unlikable. I don't know what happened. She wasn't terrible at the beginning of the book or throughout the book because we're past the halfway mark. Maybe it's because we've gotten to know her more and realized that she's not as great of a human as we thought. But even right now, she's pulled a photo out of the mom being pregnant with Angie. She's 8 months pregnant. And Teddy's just staring at the photo, and she's just in awe of it. And Teddy says, do you have any more of these pictures? And her mom says, what do you mean? And Teddy says, pictures that I've never seen. And her mom laughs and then says, what? Am I required to inventory all my belongings with you now? Teddy can also be so unlikable sometimes. I am still so obsessed with this book, regardless of me just throwing in these random little clips. Do you see my little baby just staring out the window at the storm? It's homeroom. Remember, she's an English teacher. She's got homeroom in the mornings, and she's thinking to herself, I find myself dying to bring up that my sister is gone, that my dad is gone. I would like some acknowledgement that I have suffered. You are a teacher. Kids, I'm sorry, it's about the children. It's not about you. I was a teacher. It does not matter what you're going through. And these kids they're babies. They're 16, 17 years old. And then on the next page, she basically towers over a student. I'm gonna cuss, so if you have anybody nearby, I'm just repeating what she says. She towers over this kid, Thomas, and takes the cell phone that's in his hands and then says, "Do you ever shut the hell up?" And Thomas is just staring up at her and he says, "You can't talk to me like that. I'm gonna tell my mom." And she says, "Your mom, I guarantee, feels the exact same way that I do." You can't talk to a kid like that. She did this in front of the whole classroom, in front of all the kids. Just taking a little bit of a break. Little ginger boy wants some attention. I love the mixed media in this book. The Reddit threads are out of control. They are so much fun. They are so realistic. They're so good. Howdy. Mickey does some questionable things, and then in turn it makes Teddy do some questionable things. Those two together, they are not good together. I mean, their friendship's cute. They're very close very quickly. And remember their age gap. Mickey's 19 and Teddy is 26. And just every time Teddy does something, she calls Mickey for advice. And just now, the two of them did something. This is my 70% check-in. We just had, I mean, I don't know if you would call it a reveal. Something has come to light. And it has nothing to do with the mysteries that we're trying to solve. Maybe it does. I didn't even finish the chapter. I hit the 70% mark and just needed to come on here because my mouth was open. I need to know where this is going. I am fascinated right now. This right here, you shouldn't be able to love bad people. You shouldn't be able to miss them. That hits everyone so hard because we do. We love people that do bad things. We miss bad people when they're no longer with us. My biggest fear as a teacher, this line right here, "I bring home lice from the kids at school. I don't know how it happened." Wasn't there a scene in Napoleon Dynamite where somebody is eating tater tots out of their pocket? Do y'all remember that? Was that 10, 15, 20 years ago? Maybe that was 20 years ago. This right here reminded me of that. Mickey eats jelly beans out of her pocket on the drive to Vermont. Ma'am, that one line, that one sentence, and now I need some candy. All I have are Lifesaver Gummies, wild berries, but that's what we're gonna have. Do y'all see how disgusting it is outside? Serious question here. If you have a child that's missing, Angie went missing, the parents, the mom and dad, were still trying to claim her as a dependent, but the IRS went after them and audited them. Can you still claim your missing child as a dependent if they are missing? I don't want to keep reading. I'm scared. Teddy can be so unlikable, but this is not okay. I'm so nervous to keep reading. The word grape minus the G, I feel like that's about to happen to Mickey, and I'm just gonna tell y'all if it does or not. I would like to finish this book. I mean, we're so close, right? Teddy and Mickey, they take a little road trip somewhere. I mean, it takes a while for them to get there. That's hence why she was eating the jelly beans. They end up at a bar, they're drinking, they meet these two guys. The guys are disgusting. They're hanging all over Mickey, and then they say, "Hey, y'all should come back to our hotel. We have edibles." And Mickey agrees, and Teddy just says, "Okay, sure." They're probably in their 50s. Teddy tried to get their age and say, "Oh, are y'all in your 30s, 40s?" And they said, "Yeah, something like that." The guy feeds Mickey a chocolate chip edible cookie. Teddy finally just says, "I need to go." And Mickey says, "Oh, I'll go with you." And Teddy says, "No, don't worry about me." Mickey is feeling very uncomfortable. She looks very uncomfortable. She's telling Teddy, "Oh, no, I'll go with you. I'll walk you back to the room. We can go together. I'll leave with you." And Teddy just keeps saying, "It's fine. You wanted this. This is what you wanted. So you should just stay here. Stay here and have your fun. This is what you asked for, right? You got their attention." Mickey tries to stand up and she says, oh my gosh, I'm fading. I don't feel very great," because they've been drinking a lot. And then she took that edible, not that an edible would kick in that quickly, but we'll suspend our belief for this book. But Teddy walks out of the room and leaves Mickey in there with those two grown men. Everything's fine. Nothing happens. Teddy gets to the elevator and then thinks, I should go back and get her. And then she goes back, she's pounding on the door. She looks in, nothing's happening to Mickey. Why is Mickey always shoving stuff into her pocket? Okay, so on the way to this little road trip that they went on, she had jelly beans in her pocket and she was eating out of it. And now it says, we leave the room early. Mickey shoves some Danishes from the continental breakfast into her coat pocket. Why? Why? That's so gross, girl. This is my 80% check-in. They just got tattoos. They're not matching tattoos. Teddy makes a comment about Mickey's tattoo and says, now you'll never get rid of me. I know I mentioned this in my August TBR that there was a part in this book about the dog dying and how the dog dies. I don't remember if I told y'all this at the beginning of this vlog. I'm just gonna say it now, and if you don't want to hear this, just fast forward 20-30 seconds. The dog, Wolfie, belonged to Angie, and Angie got this dog right before high school graduation, I think, because she never made it to graduation. This dog at this point is 10 years old, and so the dog is dying. He's dying of cancer, and Teddy has had this dog. She's been taking care of him. He's her only true connection to Angie. She's been trying to prolong this dog's life, even though he's dying of cancer and needs to be euthanized. He finally has reached it. He just can't. He can't go on anymore. He can't eat. He can't drink. He's going to the bathroom on himself. And she takes him out in the woods and shoots him in the head to put him out of his misery. Just wanted to throw that out there. Hey, everybody. Just getting loved on by my baby boy. Mwah. Teddy is so dumb. She did something really dumb at work. A fireable offense. I can't imagine ever doing that as a teacher. Look at this angel. How do people not like cats? Explain to me. How do people not like cats? He loves me so much. I love him so much. So sweet. Wow. I'm giving this book 5 stars. This was incredible. I loved this so much. This is more of a character study. I will say that. I think I've said that actually throughout this vlog, maybe. I don't really know. I've been so obsessed with this book since I started it. This is definitely more of a literary fiction mystery. I do need y'all to know, I don't want to spoil anything for y'all, but the ending, there's not an ending. I'm just gonna say that. If you have questions, just write me in the comments and I will tell you whatever you want to know. 5 stars all the way, y'all. This is so good. I want to write the author. I want to write her and say, don't stop writing books, please don't stop. I mean, this is her debut novel and this was incredible. Oh, wow. I just think this book was so good. Did I talk about the trigger warnings for this book? I'll put them up on the screen now. I think maybe I was talking about them when I was telling y'all about the dog. Okay, one of the trigger warnings, it straight up says the word grape without the G. I don't recall that happening in this book. That never happened. We thought it was gonna happen to Mickey. Didn't happen. Did it happen to It didn't happen to Teddy. It didn't happen to Angie. It was speculated that maybe it happened to Angie. We never saw anything on page, so please don't think that. Please give this book a shot. If you are into literary fictions, give this book a shot. If you just want a character study of what is going on in the mind of this poor girl, Teddy, and her terrible mother, her victim mother, and then, just losing her sister, losing her dad. Her long-lost brother is still essentially a long-lost brother. Just that whole thing. Oh my gosh, Teddy was a little bit cuckoo. And then just the way she is as a teacher, I love this book so much. I don't really know what else to say about it because I've just been going on and on about it for just 2 straight days that I've been vlogging this. Please give this book a shot if you're into lit fics or if you're trying to get into your lit fic era. Maybe this will be for you, but you are just following along Teddy and the day-to-day. Mickey is the one that kind of keeps the plot going, not so much Teddy. You see how Mickey was involved, how it all went down. I mean, she's 19 in the story, but she was in the 5th grade when Angie went missing. But you learn a lot about Mickey. Wow, this book, I am speechless. I don't even know what to say. I think I'm just gonna let y'all go here. Please give this book a shot. Thank y'all so much for coming along on this reading vlog journey with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.